Avengers Doomsday leak. No, not that kind of leak. A rumor confirms X-Men versus Fantastic Four. You know, a while back, they tried to tease this sort of thing when Fox was still its own studio. And, you know, they'd had several X-Men movies. And so they had the rights to Fantastic Four. So they did that Fantastic Four stick movie that everyone hated. But they got the cast of that movie to pose for, I don't know, a Vanity Fair cover or some crap like that. And it was, they did the same thing with that Dark Universe thing, which only had one movie, The Mummy or whatever. And, but anyway, they did that. They put them all together like, yeah, we're building our own Marvel Universe over here. And no one cared. So now we're finally going to have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four together, except, you know, it'll be this new Fantastic Four. I don't know if they're going to bother with all their multiverse shenanigans of having past actors show up. I'm guessing Chris Evans as the Human Torch in the Deadpool movie was it for that, you know, and that's probably good enough. So anyway, here we are at Cosmic Book News, of course, and Matt McCloy says we get more links about Avengers Doomsday, this time from an actor on the set who confirms the flick will involve the X-Men versus the Fantastic Four. If you happen to be a fan of the Secret Wars comics, the leak should come as no surprise. But Marvel is normally known for keeping secrets, well, not very well. Quite a few of these pretty much came true. A while back, there was like a buttload of spoilers and rumors about these films, and quite a few of them have already come out, and they pretty much played out what some of those suggested. Since then, things have had to change. They had the Jonathan Majors scandal, who was playing Kang the Conqueror, and they had built this whole narrative around Kang the Conqueror being their new Thanos. Then all of a sudden, well, the scandal happened, you know, plus the movies he was in, Ant-Man most notably, and of course, none of the Disney Plus shows meant anything. And then his scandal happens with his girlfriend and all that. So then they had to just, instead of just recasting him, which especially with that character, they could have done that because he has multiple timeline versions of himself. And you just could have cast some other actor and just say, yeah, he doesn't look like that guy anymore. And that would have been fine. But they decided to scrap all of that and go for Dr. Doom, which I understand Dr. Doom is probably the more recognizable Marvel Comics villain. But you haven't laid any groundwork for him. He's just going to show up, yeah. And he's the main villain of the Fantastic Four, but you haven't had any Fantastic Four up until just now, you know, in July. So it's just it's saying, hey, this will be the new Infinity War and Endgame. It won't. You know, the other movies all put together, you know, lead up to it. It wasn't exactly completely mapped out. That's fair, but you have a basic outline of where you want to go, or at least know you're going somewhere. And whatever the original plan was, they had to, you know, rearrange the deck chairs. So anyway, Alan Cumming is confirmed to be back as Nightcrawler in Avengers Doomsday. He's actually been one of the more vocal actors, as he has previously discussed his excitement about returning to the role after 20 years. God damn, it's been that long. Yeah. In a recent interview, Cumming reveals that his Nightcrawler of the X-Men takes on Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. So when he says, for comic book fans, this shouldn't come as a surprise, this is more akin to the latter Secret Wars. Was it Hickman? No, not Hickman. Yeah, I think it was Jonathan Hickman wrote that. Anyway, the one where it was all, they were all, the whole multiverse had collapsed into one planet and they were all battling for territory and stuff. Anyway, I'm doing it again. The X-Men film. I'm playing Nightcrawler again. I was learning stunts yesterday for some fight scene, and I just think I'm 60 years old. 23 years ago, I played that superhero, he told BuzzFeed UK. I was kind of old for a superhero even then, and now I'm back doing it. And that, to me, is hilarious. Yeah, but you're going to be in all this makeup and stuff, so you won't look a day over 23, 6, 30, 38. Anyway, continued. I'm sort of learning these fights, and I'm like, what? Who am I fighting with? And they said, you're hitting Pedro Pascal against the head or something. Whoops. But then again, maybe he's just kidding around, Cumming also said, following the casting announcement, isn't it nuts? I'm excited and amazed. It's been, again, 23 years since I was a superhero. I've had some makeup tests already for the role, but what's great about it was that before it was about 4.5 hours to apply it. But now it's only 90 minutes. Oh, wow. They've advanced on makeup technique, or they only needed to do a few little things and then they'll CGI the rest, probably. Before, all the tattoos were done by hand. They hadn't decided on them before we started filming. Now they just stick onto my face. It's a game changer. I'm going back to being a 60-year-old superhero, and everyone seems really lovely. So, hey, look, it's Fantastic Four and the X-Men. Is that how it's going to be? I doubt it. What remains to be seen is, why does the X-Men battle the Fantastic Four? Well, if it's anything like the Hickman Secret Wars, well, I don't know. I mean, they were battling for territory and stuff, and some of them weren't really that aggressive about it. But then again, maybe they got a battle for the survival of their universe, It could be something akin to that. But I don't know if this is why are they fighting in Doomsday? So, but I get, really, Doomsday and Secret Wars, they're probably one and the same. One affects the other. So, yeah, it could be as simple as that. They see each other as threats to their different realities, and then they start fighting each other over. Anyway, in the Secret Wars comics, the Beyonder, the original one from the 80s, gathers different groups of Earth heroes and villains on Battle World, promising the victor anything they want. The X-Men are there, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers. Dr. Doom is there with his team of villains. There are alien beings, and there is also Galactus. The confirmed cast also includes, from the X-Men, Patrick Stewart as back as Xavier, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Rebecca Romaine as Mystique, James Marsden as Cyclops, and even Channing Tatum from Deadpool and Wolverine as Gambit. Rumors also offer Famke Janssen back as Phoenix, Jean Grey. Yeah. See, the Channing Tatum thing, they were chasing a Gambit movie with him in the role, and it stayed in development hell until it finally died. And then, hey, for a goof, they decided to bring him in for the Deadpool Wolverine movie, except they dressed him in the actual comic book accurate outfit. But then again, Deadpool was always pretty much accurate to his outfit. And then Wolverine, they put him in the yellow tights. So I guess it all made sense. Making up the Fantastic Four also includes Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Human Torch, and Eben Moss Backrack as the Thing. It seems they might have a tough time taking on the X-Men, though Mr. Fantastic's stretchy powers and Nightcrawler's teleportation powers could make for some cool special effects. Yeah, I guess. It's unknown if the female Silver Surfer or Galactus will be a part of Avengers Doomsday. Well, Galactus might be. But one of those rumors I was talking about, she doesn't survive the Fantastic Four movie. Yeah. But they could change that too. So anyway, there you go. Fantastic Four versus the X-Men. And whether that has any implications going forward, I don't know, because they're going to pursue the X-Men after Secret Wars for new movies to move ahead. And that's going to be an entirely new cast. It's going to have to be. the Pedro Pascal Fantastic Four will stick around, unless the Fantastic Four movie bombs, which is possible. It's got some interesting things about it, but there's also some troubling things there that, it might not work out. But they're stuck with them for the time being, so they'll be the Fantastic Four for Doomsday and Secret Wars.